Buenos tardes, compadres. Que pedo, que onda, que pasa, que tal? How you guys doing this afternoon? It has been a great day here on AMC. Set right now, sitting at about $11, and that's not the whole story. We'll hop right in. I just want to get in real quick before the bell ends here. Looks like we got about 3 minutes until closing bell sounds, and I'll just send you guys right over to the charts. So looking at the charts here, you can see today that we got a high of $11.32. I mean, we were up, kind of trading sideways a little bit today. We kind of got up. Well, I say that we were up pretty much from the jump. So not really too much sideways trading up until we got to about that 10 and a half mark and just above that. So if you were following along the stream, you got to see we got that rise. I think I hopped off maybe about 2 hours ago, and we saw the good push up, and then we had a little bit of a pullback, some consolidation through the middle part of the day, and then we turned it back upwards and hit this high of 1132. So I'm expecting to see a little bit more of a push or a sell-off here in the after hours, as we typically do. It swings one way or another for some reason on these meme stocks. And I've got GME sitting down here below. I don't know if you can see very well. Yeah, sure, you guys can see. You just can't see the MACD and the RSI as well. So you can see over here on GameStop, GME, we hit a high, currently almost there, of $187.50. So a little bit of a different here. I think we had more volume in AMC. And what you got to remember with AMC, the reason why we see more volume with AMC is because AMC has more shares outstanding than GameStop. I believe GameStop was like around 69 million, 70 million shares, and AMC's about 450 million shares outstanding. So you're going to typically see more volatility, more volume in the stock on AMC than you will on GameStop. But that doesn't make a difference because you see here they kind of mirror each other very, very closely. However, I felt like we had more of a run up on GameStop than we did on AMC, and we'll take a look right here from the low part of the day. If I can get this to click over a little harder on these tiny screens. From the lowest part of the day up to the highest part was about a 61% gap up there. So I really like to see that. And then if we're looking at AMC, we'll do the same kind of thing here. From the lowest part, which is right about where we opened at, to just about 1132, about 26% increase here. I think we're currently sitting somewhere above 20% on the day, or just under 20%. With a net change of about 1.93, so up about $1.92 from yesterday's previous close. And GME, I don't have it on this one. Let me go over, and there's the bell. So let's see if we get any movement just after the bell here. And see what this evening is going to look like. So closing out the day, not sure if it'll show me the total volume of the day. Still looking to figure that one out for myself. Closed out decent with 442,000 in the last 1 minute candle there versus GME's 113,000. So I guess if you compared them together with the shares outstanding and then you take the amount of volume pushed into each of these stocks, you're going to see that GME probably had a better day overall. Given the differences between the shares outstanding of AMC and GME. Both looking really, really strong. We'll take a look over here at a chart, and let me pull up the single chart here, get rid of the level 2s, and let's look at the SPY, the ETF for the S&P 500, just so we can see and kind of compare what our meme stocks did comparatively to the market. So this morning kind of hit a low point of 383, and this is for the 2 days here. So from yesterday, a high of 392 down to 383. Currently sitting at about 389.60 or 389.72 is where we close. So just a little bit down from where we closed at. So the market as a whole actually looked pretty good for the majority of the day after this sell-off here, which ended just about 10:54. So just about after this little brief sell-off here that we had, we trended really nicely upwards, and from our low point there all the way up to this high point here, we're looking at about 1.71%. So pretty good for the market in its entirety. And you can see we actually did not have a huge sell-off the same way that the market did. So we kind of reversed from the market. We opened up really strong, started to sell back, and I thought, man, this is going to be a repeat of yesterday. If you guys remember yesterday, we opened up here with a nice push up for the first like 5 or 10 minutes and then just sold off for the rest of the day. Just a slow bleed out. So very happy that we did not have the same thing happen today that we had yesterday. And I'm stoked. Like, we finished very strong today. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I think tomorrow we're going to even have a better day. I can get rid of some of these old stupid price lines here, because I hope that we don't have to go back to them and use them again. And just to clean up the chart just here a little bit. And I'll leave a couple of them just so we know kind of where our actually I will remake them. I'll leave that one. I'll set a new one here, and we'll set one just about somewhere right about in here. I'll set one there just so we can kind of keep an eye if we do dip down. And I'll zoom back out and we can see we hit above where we were at yesterday. I need to go to a 5-day chart, and I actually need to customize the time frame to a 1 minute here, just to make it even. If we're going to look at a 1 day 1 minute, I need to look at a 5-day 1 minute and set our price targets or our price lines here so that we can bounce off of that. Gosh, move so slow. I wonder if I can just click and drag. Nope. Auto zoom that out. Yeah, that's the thing with these 1 minutes here. So we'll go back over 2 days ago, and we will start looking here for a new gap up here. So if I would go into this here, this just 1 day here, and let's set a level there. So it looks like we hit a level of resistance right here, just about this $12 mark, just underneath it. So we can use the $12 as our as a gap up, and then underneath that, remember that we are setting just about $11 or just under, so just around there. And we need to try to find where we might have some resistance here. So it looks like once we push through that 1132, and you know what is strange? If we go back to today, gosh, and we just look over, I'll just quick this over real quick because this is going to make it a lot faster to do this. You can see that level that I just set at 1132 is almost exactly where we hit our target. So people to tell you technical analysis doesn't work, they just don't know what they're talking about. It does work. So if you were to go back and look, and again, that's 5-day 15 minute, what we want to do, or 5-day 1 minute, we want to set this time frame back to, sorry, 5-day 5 minutes. We want to set it back down to 1 minute here. Go all the way back to where we were looking at here and look at this target. So this is our $12 and or $11.32 price level. And you see that this is going to be a level of resistance again. It was in the past. This is 2 days ago. So what is this? What's today? Thursday. So this is what, Tuesday? So you see there, and then we've got another gap up from here. So there may be some other areas of resistance in there that we hit on the way up, but I'm pulling the next big price level at 1191. So if we can gap up and we can fill up to 1132 and really push past that level of resistance, I think that we'll be able to push up even farther and get back to 1194. And then before that, you already know what's going to happen. We're going to push all the way back up to that $14. So if you guys were worried or scared when this thing hit down here at this $8 and you thought, oh my God, I should have sold out when I was up 60%, no, what you should have done is when this thing bottomed out right here, you should have bought more. I didn't quite make it all the way to the bottom. I bought some on Tuesday. I bought some on Wednesday. I was going to buy some more today, but we just kept going up and up and up and up and up, and I really just didn't have any dry powder in my account. I did, however, dump one of my option contracts. I lost majorly on that contract, but that's the thing with contracts, with options. They're very, very risky, and you guys have to keep that in mind. So I opened out about, let's say, $161 in that option contract, but at least I was able to get some of it instead of losing the entire contract like I did last week for those 2 contracts. I lost out probably like 98% of it or something like that, so something major, but that was money that I was willing to gamble away. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I do this for entertainment, so take that with a grain of salt, and you know, just watch this for entertainment. Looks like we are actually up a little bit in the after hours here. Maybe that is not doing good. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so not quite. I'm over here looking at this 1094 and not really looking at where we are currently set in the after hours, which we currently look like we are at $11.30. and moving. So looks like we got to push above this price target that I just set, which we also found earlier in the day. And I'll go back to the 1 day 1 minute and zoom in right here so you can see this. We hit that target line here. Matter of fact, sorry, we hit it here. This was old one. Should I even keep this one? I don't even think there's a reason to keep this. So let me remove that one, and now you guys can see it's a little bit clearer. So we got up, we hit this one here. We're pushing above it now. Let's see if we can remain on this line and kind of push up. And again, I think that the next target, big target in between here when we gap up, is going to be at this 1194 or 1192, somewhere in there, off by a couple of cents. But just remember that old resistance becomes new support, and here we are at an old resistance level. It's going to become a new support if we can keep the buying pressure on this thing and keep pushing up. We are in oversold territory according to the RSI here, just above 70. Looking about, we kind of fell down just a little bit. We hit at the top here 75.86 on the RSI. So with the RSI, I got my indicator set between 70 and 30. 30 at the bottom, 70 at the top. We want to kind of stay in this range. It's not bad if we do. Actually, you know, this is when you see the stock jump up, is when you get above this 70. But however, when we see the 70, we start to see pullbacks because we are reaching oversold territory. So we are respecting this level of resistance here. It looks like it's going to hover right below it for the time being, or right on it. So we'll see what we do. If we just consolidate here for a little bit, or if we get a little bit of push. Can't really tell you why the after hours market acts the way that it does, but sometimes it can be very volatile. So glad to see that we actually reached a new high for the day, for the 2 days, at $11.42. Now, I still have one options contract, strike price of $40, ending on June 18th. That one I am currently up, as of market close, about $19 on that contract itself. That's just for today. However, overall, I'm down probably about 100 on that contract, just a little under. So not bad. This is money when it comes to options contract. This is money that if you were at a casino and you said, hey, I'm going to put this money in the slot machine, I'm willing to risk it, or buy a lottery ticket, or put it on red or black at the roulette wheel. This is money that, you know, I'm willing to lose all of it, 100% of it. That this is something that there is no for sure thing in the market. Anything can happen, and especially with options contracts, they are very risky. So just keep that in mind. It's a little bit different when you're buying a stock. When you're buying a stock, you get some ups and downs and some volatility where it might go up, you make some money, it might go down, and you're holding the bag. But it also, you think that down here it's the end, and then we push back up, and now we're reaching new highs for the last 2 days. So you never know what can happen in the market. I feel personally that just holding a position in a company is a safer bet, and it has helped me over the years to hold the bag, even if it's for months or years, to eventually make that money back. And along the way, if you get a dividend stock, you're making some dividends along the way. One thing I do want to talk about is, if anybody knows, and which I have not seen yet, but however, if we were to go over to Rocket, RKT, when I looked at my account earlier today, I noticed that I got a dividend of $2.22 for the 2 shares that I held in Rocket, which would mean that I got a $1.11 dividend from Rocket for 1 quarter. Very, very strange to me that I got a dividend. When you look up here, they don't show a dividend. There's no dividend here. There's no information available for any dividend for the past 4 or 5 years. So what we're going to do is, I'll leave this on the chart. Let me go over to here, and before we take a look at Fintel, fake Intel, and I'll just reload that while we're looking for, here is ticker symbol RKT dividend. And let's find out once for all if they do have a dividend. Maybe I should just type in, does RKT have a dividend? This is Market Beat, and we'll see if this one shows. All right, this one did show. Wow. That is crazy. Totally insane. So if you were left a bag holder on Rocket from its little run up a couple days ago, and you held this thing before, it looks like it was announced on February 25th, payable on March 23rd. So if you were to have this And could be the reason why Rocket started to run up a lot. You know what? I almost would think that it is. And if they continue this dividend in the future, I think that you're going to see Rocket come back up to where it was at in those $30 ranges, because this dividend is crazy high. $1.11 per share is insane. Let me pull up a calculator here and try to find out what that percentage would be on a $30 stock. So on a $30 stock, it looks like it's just under 5%. It's still a really good dividend, but that was something that I was not expecting. It's just, but so that's 5% per quarter. I mean, this is like, that's like less than a 20% dividend for the year. This is per quarter. So if you guys can see this, this is $1.11 per share per quarter. So I was pretty astonished to see that I had $2.22 in my account from the only 2 shares that I had with Rocket, because I knew that I was chasing it, and so I only purchased 2 shares because that is a huge rule. I don't have a list of the rules. Maybe it's in my top 5 for sure. Don't chase because you'll get left holding the bag. And but fortunately enough that I am holding the bag here, I did get this dividend. How dividends work is if they'll announce it, if you hold it by this X dividend date, this is the date that if you have any position in the company at the end of this date here on March 8th, you will get this amount for the quarter, or on 3/9. I'm not sure. So maybe somebody can clear that up for me. I always had heard the ex dividend date. This was a date you had to have this share in your possession, and then it pays out on this date. So I did get that $2.22 for the 2 shares that I held, which does make me a little happier, because if I just add this amount to my stock, even if I'm selling for a loss, I'm still gaining that $1.11. So you can add that into your percentage of profit there. So let's go over here and take a look at Fintel really quickly. And I just updated it, and you know, I really don't trust Fintel. We know that they underreport the volume stats here. Looks like we are up in the short shares availability from where we were at. I think we're at 460 or something like that, either this morning or yesterday, down from the 1.5 the day before, up to 3.4 million short shares available. So, excuse me, short borrow fee rate went down from whatever it was at 4.26, somewhere in there, a little above, excuse me, again, a little above 4. So we're down on this. This is not what we want to see. But this possibly means that some of the shorts cover their position and help drive that stock up. I do like seeing this. This is wild right here. So it looks like Rocket hasn't had a dividend since 2015. So from 16, 17, 18, and 19, and 20, they did not have a single dividend in any quarter for those 4 or 5 year periods. So going back all the way to 2015, and then even then their dividend was only about, what is that, 98 cents. I'm sorry, 128 cents per year. So the yield was roughly about 2.14%. We don't have a yield on this one. However, I'm thinking that it's just below the 20%, and I could be wrong. If I were to go in here, the share was about $20 or $30. I think I bought it like 29. So we'll just call it an even $30. And yeah, just under 15 20% here. Actually, just under 15%. So forgive me, as I was just under 15% for this dividend, which is a huge dividend. If they can keep this up, I will buy more Rocket here just to hold for that dividend. And let's get out of here and go back to the watch here. And let me just put this flex grid back on so we can see GME and the sister AMC here. Both of us are currently in after hours, as everything else is. And looks like in the after hours, GME also hit a high for the last 2 days of or last day of 190.33 cents, and us for 11.42, as you can see. Um, Man, that's really good. That's good news. So we did break above this line, and we had just set this line here at 11:30, and we hit 11:42. So we'll actually keep that at 11:42. I might just go ahead and take this off, but I'm going to leave it for now. I think that even though we did hit that 11:42, and we did, looks like we might even have closed above that number. It looks like we're still using this level of support as a foundation at 11:31. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that there. And in the after hours, volatility and volume usually just kind of dies off a little bit. The volatility is usually actually pretty high, but the volume kind of dies down. It's a strange thing here in the after hours. We see a lot of swings in the after hours, especially during pre-market. And I'll go up and show you guys. I mean, this is a huge range in the after hours. I mean, if you look here from last night, I mean, that's 10%, almost 11% of range there. So that's wild. That's a huge movement, almost as much as what we saw during the day. Not quite as much because we saw, I mean, over 20%. But on normal days, I mean, AMC is going through a very volatile period right now. So it looks like we're hovering right here, just about this $11.12 mark. Sitting currently at 11.10, which is good. We're above $11 now for the first time in almost 24 hours. It seems like. So I'm happy to be back. Actually more than 24, yeah, about 24 hours. So very happy to be back. More than 24 hours there. Holding the bag over here on AMTX. Let me pull up some charts here. Let's go over to AMTX. So I've got a limit order set for $28, and I'm fine. What we thought was going to be a day trade is now turned into a swing trade, and I'm completely happy holding this thing up, just because when we look at this 100-day, 80-day chart. So we were due about time for a pullback and even a bigger one like this. We saw here, this was back in earlier March, 1st of March here. We saw a pretty big pullback here and then it continue on up. So we did have slight pullbacks here, but nothing as big as this one just yet. And we're almost about there where we're having, you see this drop off here. So it doesn't look as bad when you look at it microscopically or microscopically as I were. But when you look at the macro, it looks like a huge sell-off here. I don't think that this is the case. We were reaching some oversold territory, so it's about time that we pulled back anyhow. So I'm fine holding this thing for a couple of days. Again, I only have about 2 shares in this position. Kind of the same with Rocket. I started to chase it a little bit. I didn't buy quite on the dip, and I was trying to flip it for a little quick 5%. And if I go back here, when did we buy? I think it was yesterday, the day before. It was yesterday. So we saw new all-time highs of $27.44, and I just purchased this right about in here. I thought it was going to pull back and then start to shoot back up again. I thought it was going to be a very, very minor pullback and then continue to run because we were only about 20 minutes into the day, and I didn't think it was quite running yet, but unfortunately it was done running, and we just kind of pulled back here. So the smart play would have been to wait for the pullback, consolidate, and then see signs of reversal and then maybe buy in. But even then, we didn't. If you would have bought in here, there wouldn't have been much range because let's say you waited for the bounce, saw some red, saw some green, and maybe here's where you start feeling comfortable of buying in, and then from there, you know, you might try to hold on to it for a little bit more. I mean, I want to go for a 5%. I want 5% profit on my trades. I'll settle for over 2.5, and right here we see you could have gotten it up to about 3% there. So could have been a good trade if you would have waited for the bottom. However, it's so difficult to time these bottoms. You just have to wait for a little bit of consolidation, signs of reversal, and unfortunately I just rushed this thing because I thought it was going to be a very minor pullback and just a boom up because we're hitting all-time highs. So sometimes when you hit that, you know, it just kind of stalls out for a little bit, and that's what we're seeing is it's kind of stalled out and then it's really died down from then. So we're going through a pullback. We hit a low of about $20.34, so pretty nasty pullback here of about 25%, but we were due a pretty big pullback. If we were to pull a Fibonacci retracement here, let's just pull this on the last 20 days. Anywhere down here is fine, and we could look there. We are just here at 38.2 looking off of this this run here. So I know that it depends on how you look at it, but I'm pulling all the way from back here when we started this run. I think for me this was the start here at the low of 858 all the way up, and we're pulling back just above. We touched this line here at 38.2, and it looks like we're starting to trend back upwards. So I'm not worried the least bit here. Again, I am only holding a few shares in this position. Let me remove this. And again, on a Fibonacci retracement scale, what you want to see, healthy bullish momentum is a pullback, a healthy pullback, strong pullback to about 50% retracement. So we didn't even quite make it to 50. If it's at 38, that's even better. So I'm fine seeing this pullback. It was a quick pullback, not as slow as maybe some of the other ones we might see, but it is what it is. So I've got my limit order set here at 28%. I might even move that up just a little bit once we start getting close here. I'm going to go ahead and set a level to alert me. Let me go back into the 1 day, 1 minute. And once we start getting close here at about 27.40, I'm going to set an alert here at or above. Let's go with 45. So if we can puncture through, sorry, let's go 42 just so I can be quick on the ball, because if we can get to this 44 point and puncture through, I think we're going to take a little run, and I would be selling myself short if I only sold at 28. So I'll leave this for now, because I'm not going to watch this thing overnight, and if it jumps up there, I'd rather take 5% than it pounce up where I could have made 5 and then it dropped down, and then I'm like, well, shoot, I could have just went ahead and exited that position, because I don't plan on holding this position for very long. It was just a swing trade just to practice my technical analysis skills, and I've got it set for 28.03. I'll leave it on there. It doesn't expire for quite some time. I think I set it out like 6 months or so. Doesn't even tell you there when it expires. So I'm looking for this thing to kind of start trending back upward and start testing its levels of resistance again. This is AMTX. So it's just a like a biodiesel company. It's an alternative fuel company. So, but they are seeing some really good run-ups here. Again, that's the 180-day time frame. Look at the 1-year time frame, and if we go here and look at the 3-year time frame, I mean, looking really good. So down on the 5 days though. But it looks like we kind of touched around here, just a little bit above where we were trading at earlier this week on Monday and Tuesday. So not that worried about it. Or on Friday and Monday. I think this is Monday. This is Friday, sorry. Friday and Thursday and Friday. One other stock I want to take a look at real quick is from the Personal Stock Watch at 2021, and this is CCL. So we saw a low of 23.72 on CCL. Actually had a good fight throughout the day. Looks like they jumped up from their low of the day up to their high point, which they've just about reached again, almost 10%, just over 9.5% here. So it looks like they're doing very well. The news that came out that said that CDC was pushing cruises off until November 1st doesn't seem like it hurt them too bad. I thought it was going to affect them and they were just going to keep shooting down for more than a day, but it looks like they only had a 1-day sell-off. Actually, let me go auto zoom here. So it looks like they only had a 1-day, even a half-day sell, not even a full 1 day. A little bit in pre-market. So if you combine the pre-market hours, after hours market hours, the pre-market hours and the end of the day here, then yeah, maybe you would get 1 full day of selling. But starting to push back up again. So this one is good, and we'll just take a quick look over here on why I think this is a good stock. It's because of the potential, although I don't know, it may take a very long time for this to get up to its full potential. It will take a big news catalyst like the CDC coming out and saying, hey, we're opening up all cruise lines to everyone who's vaccinated to really push this thing back up. But if you look at 3 years ago, the high of this stock was at $67.68. This is back in October of 2018. So from there, where we currently stand today, just right around here, where are we currently? 25.85. I'll just end it right here where we closed that today. Looking at a high of about 160% chance for profit. Now, That's all the way back in 2018. You say, why would this stock get all the way back up to there when that's not exactly where it should be, right? So maybe this thing was going through a market correction. So okay, you say that. Let's look here. This is before the pandemic, and we all know what happened. If you look at any chart for almost every kind of stock that's entertainment or travel or leisure or anything like that that has any impact or has been impacted by the pandemic in any sort, you're going to see that right around January, February, March, April, boom, the sky falls out of these stocks. This is everything. Even tech companies, you see some of it had went down, and since then they've grown back up because people know that it was a good buy when they hit the bottom here. So I think you're going to see that with a lot more with these travel companies, and we are seeing already. If you look at American Airlines, you would see the same thing. But however, right now we're taking a look at ticker symbol CCL for Carnival Cruise Lines, and what you're going to see here is, all right, so here we are. What are we doing right here? Okay, this is 2019. This is before the pandemic, right? So we were going through a correction here, maybe a bit of a pullback here. I don't want to look back all the way back 5 years ago. But all right, so we were here in 18. Back in 19, we're here. In 20, we're going back up. So I'm going to use this level here because we did bounce off this level, and then we pushed and used this level as a level resistance to push the stock down and drive the stock down pretty violently. But we all know why this push down. So we're going to use this line here. I have it set here, and let's just take a look at where we kind of currently set up to that point. That's about 54%. Would you take 54% on any position that you have? I mean, I would. 54% is amazing. I held positions for years and barely got 12, 13% out of them or 25% out of them. So the potential is here for CCL. I just think that it's going to take a news catalyst to drive this thing back up. I think we will continue trading and consolidating within here of this high range here, about 29. So we'll see some fluctuations here. I think people realize that because of the news, and they were very quick to correct it, that when they heard the news and this thing dropped out, this was where the news hit, it dropped out. So you can see how much of an impact a news article can have on a stock at any given time. I mean, news article came out and bam, just dropped it down completely, continued to sell off in the pre-market, and then people gobbled this thing up and said, hey man, this is a good value right here, and we're going to hang on to it. I don't care if it is going to take me 8 months. This is good. So we're already kind of getting back to where we were trading at, very, very close to where we were trading at yesterday before that news broke. So I do see a lot of value in CCL. However, I think it's going to take a big news catalyst of them saying cruise lines are now open to all before it really jumps up and you can get some of that profit. Now you can scalp this thing now. I mean, it would have been a good time to buy here. We never know what the market's going to do, so hindsight is 2020. And if you look at the SPY, the market as a whole looks like it was kind of going up today after this low point here. So it seems like everything might have made money today. But there was a potential chance to scalp here again. If you would have bought it somewhere down around the low, and even just kind of held through that end of the day, that's about 8%. So could have made about 8 or 9% on this thing if you would have timed it right. But with the news coming out and how fast it dropped and continued to drop, even when you hit here, why would you think that it's going to bounce back up? Well, we can take a look here and where you can see signs of reversal, right? So it looks like we hit a low here, actually on a green candle. That was actually on the market open. So I mean, I guess you're going to say, well, it could have gone either way, right? It could have just kind of bounced up a little bit because people have seen some value in it, and it could have just sold off immediately again, like we saw yesterday morning with AMC. However, that was not the case. We kind of trended upwards just for a little bit. So what you're seeing here is a little bit of upward momentum. You can see here indicated on the MACD that we see more buying pressure. You can see that we started to cross over the gold line. If anybody out there knows what these blue lines and gold lines are called, please let me know. All I know is that once this blue line crosses over the gold line, that's when we see more buying pressure than we see selling pressure. And that's when you can see we started to buy up here. So you can look for these indicators. Never just use one indicator solely, but you can see we were in oversold territory, and it was just a matter of time before we started to pull back up a little bit, and you would have a chance for a scalp. So what you really want to do is when you think you're at the bottom or you see a pullback, and this isn't typical, but we can take this for an example here. You see a little pullback here. We started to run up. You see a little bit of a pullback here. You see there's one green candle. Pull back a little bit more. Another green candle. Another green candle. All right, so we've consolidated in this area here. Just above this line here. So this is about 4 or 5 minutes here. And on the 5th minute, we get some push here. So you see the one. Me, I typically wait for the second green candle. You see a second green candle, and that's your signs of reversal. And then you buy in, hopefully you can land somewhere in here. And then from there, if the stock continues to drive up, that's only about 2.85%, and it's probably only took you 27 minutes there to make that almost 3%. So that's depending on where you got in, but that's just to show you guys, what I'm looking for when I'm looking for something that has got some upward momentum or might be some value in it. And this one you never knew because of how dramatically the bottom fell out yesterday. But when you're looking to scalp a stock, this is kind of my go-to strategy here is we're going up. We see a pullback. Wait for the pullback. We kind of bottom out here, kind of bounce off this level of support here a couple times. So pullback, consolidation, signs of reversal. That's the second candle here that we're moving back upwards. And not a lot of volume pumped into this thing. Really not, but it also depends on the outstanding shares in the market cap. So yeah, up, pullback, consolidation, signs of reversal, buy in somewhere in there hopefully, and then just kind of ride it out a little bit. You can even set your stop loss, so once you get down here, like, hey, 1%, right? So, or even we know that it can bounce off this line. So if you're willing to lose a little bit more than that, just so you don't get filled or sold early, you can set like maybe 1.5% or something like that. So if you think that you're going to pull back again and bounce, it'll just give you more time to play with your scalp opportunity. But you can see we just set higher lows entirely up to there, just about entirely. So except for right here. So all the way up, you never know when it's going to start to pull. If you are only looking for about 2.5%, and you're probably doing okay. Once you get that 2.5% here, you're doing all right. Just set it, and set your limit order and sell out at that 2.5%. If you want a little bit more, it's more risky because it takes a lot. You need to see more volume for that 5%. So if I'm looking at 5%, it depends on how much volume we're seeing pumped into a stock, what kind of news catalyst is driving that position, for me to say whether I'm looking for a 2.5 or 5%, right? So we had a good day here on old CCL here, Carnival Cruise Lines. And, good range here, right? So depending on how long you want to hold, but you never know what it's going to do. So on a stock like this where you really don't know, it's very risky to try to think that you're going to get 5% out of it. You can just take profits at 2.5%. 2.5% is not bad, especially on a day, right? So let's pull up. What else are we going to look at real quick here? I don't really want to talk about Dolphin right now. It's a very risky play. It looks like they're consolidating down here. Could be looking at another run up. You never know what's going to happen with NFTs, because as we saw with TKAT, if we were to pull this out macroscopically and take a look at the 10-day chart here, you would see that on this day, and if you were to go back, there's like, what day was this here? This is on the 17th, right? So going back on the 17th, there's actually the only news really on the 17th is that there was no news. I can't find the news article right now. It's a little hard for me to read how little this is, and I'm actually on like a 32-inch monitor, and for some reason I still am having trouble reading these little text down here. But there was a news article that said, like right here, Artco shares are trading higher, not seeing any company-specific news to justify the price action in this low-float stock. The company has rallied in recent sessions as a potential NFT play by investors. So the only news was like, hey, there is no news. So it looks like they had to halt this thing on the up a couple times because it was just breaking out so massively. And I mean, you can see down here, it's like 10 days ago, we were sitting at $2.71 all the way up to $74. I mean, what a squeeze right there. Not sure that that is the definition of a squeeze, but let's just call it a squeeze for this purpose. Like I say, I'm not a financial investor. This is for entertainment, so I hope you guys can learn something here. But I hope you take from it more, just a little bit of entertainment, and just follow my journey of learning about investing and stock trading along the way. So SNDL, here's one we're holding the bag on. This one I chased. I disobeyed like one of my 10 commandments or my 5 commandments, and don't chase should probably be the number 1 commandment that I should have. So unfortunately, I've been holding this for a while. Only a couple $100 in my other brokerage account that I will close out very soon. So I'm not really worried about it. I'll just hold this thing, for however long it takes. Because if we go back on, let's see, on the 1 year here, you can see, typically this thing is a penny stock, so I could lose it all. But it seems like we're going to consolidate in this range here of about $1 up to about potentially $1.75. So I'm going to let this thing consolidate here for a little bit. Maybe we get some news that kind of drives this thing up just a little bit. Maybe I'll take the time once we go down on this dip. I buy some more, average my position down, and then wait for a news catalyst to push it up just a little bit to where I make that profit, which has been a strategy of mine and it has worked well for me over the years. Is if I do get left holding the bag, as long as it's not in a company that's going bankrupt, it's a company that I believe in long term. What I'll do is just average my position down. Just average down until I get some news catalyst or earnings or a dividend to come out and push whatever stock or position it is up to where I'm in the green, take my profit and get out. And I have done that. I have been down 50% on Ford. I was down 50% my entire portfolio last year, as I'm sure a lot of other traders were. And I just didn't have the capital to invest too much, but I did try to take that time to invest down and average my position down. And as I did so, once we started going green, I started to sell positions. I ended up closing out 2 of my long-term held positions, one for a 23% profit, the other one for about a 12.5% profit. One that was down, like, if you would have looked at it, it's over the last year had been down, like, man, probably 80%. It went from like $11, $12 a share with a good dividend all the way down to sub $1. So almost about to get kicked off the NASDAQ here. So we'll go back to our old girl here, faithful and trusty. The reason I do this, AMC, and see where we currently sit here. I need to open this thing up. I did not like that. When I first opened, I saw a huge red candle here. So looks like we're pushing down, but we are going to test this level of resistance, and it seems like we are here in the after hours. Probably just going to float along here just above $10.95. Looks like we try to touch it right here, kind of floating above it. I think we'll consolidate here for the rest of the evening until the pre-market hours, or until maybe tonight somebody gets off work and they can't trade on their phone and they're like, hey, I want to buy some. I see the potential in this thing going back up. So although that's not going to drive the price up a whole bunch, I mean, it'd take like what, a couple 100,000 people to all get off work at like 6 o'clock and say, oh man, I'm going to buy some AMC because the price is looking tasty. So I don't think that it's going to be, I think we'll kind of float in this range here. And you can see we're using this level now at 1093 to kind of bounce off of. We did it a couple times. We were rejected by it a few times, kind of stayed hovering around it. And once we got above, we kind of gave 1 bounce, a 2 bounce, a 3 bounce. So this is a very strong level of support now at this 1093. So it won't surprise me if we kind of push down here a little bit, especially with what the hedge funds have been doing to kind of short this thing, especially with the OTC stuff that they're doing and the DPT, the dark pool trading that they're doing that's going on. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. We don't know the full information yet. It had been floated out there that one company particular was shorting over 2 billion shares, which that's not the case. Come to find out, what it is that they've been shorting. There was 2 billion options that they shorted. Some not positions, but different trades that they made. Actually, it'd be more than 2 billion shares. So as I say it now, I feel really stupid. Oops, what did I hit? Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull up that article and see just some clarification here, because I think what everybody thinks right now is that Citadel shorted the stock 2 billion shares, but I don't think that that's come out to be the truth. And while we're doing that, I'll pull up my flexible grid here, and we'll just keep a look at old GameStop here. So I might just go ahead and remove some of these levels here on GameStop as well. I'm going to remove this one, and I'll just go ahead and set a new level here. Looks like we're going to probably bounce around. I'll set that one there. That's close enough for me. Looks like, we kind of found some resistance here, far on the same line here. Matter of fact, let me just remove it. I'll redo it, and that way you can see throughout the day kind of where we found some resistance at. Oh shoot, I hate when it does that. Alright, so we'll leave it right there. You can see we found some resistance here almost a couple times. and then once we push through it, we've kind of bounced right off of it. Kind of bounced off it. So I think this is a very strong level of support here, even though we're currently trading a little bit above it. But we are starting to see this gold line, and you guys can't see it down there, but in the very bottom right-hand corner on my my MACD, we're starting to see the gold line cross over the blue line, almost as if you could see right here. Kind of the same thing. We're starting to cross over now, so we're starting to see some more selling pressure step in, and actually we're testing that level of support here. So don't be surprised to see this thing kind of start to trend downwards a little bit, maybe even get a bounce off that 1046. But I'll leave you guys on this for a sec, and then I'm going to pull this over to my other screen until I find it here. Let's go with AMC Reddit and see if I can find that DD. Well, that was blocked for some reason. Sorry guys, I want to get sucked into to reading all these DD posts on Reddit here if I don't find this one very quickly. Wow, this one's actually, I kind of really want to read this one right here. I might just pull this one up. Since we were already talking about this, I'm going to go ahead and move this over so we can talk about this one here. And this is called Carnival Cruise Warning Part 3, so I would imagine there's a Part 2 and a Part 1. I don't know, just imagining here. But it goes like this. Well, I can keep saying I told you so. I warned that there was no way Fauci and the CDC would lift restrictions on these cruise companies, but you people kept droning on and on about the vaccines. Well, here we are. The restrictions will remain in place, and the hopium high, that's a new word for me. The hopium high you were all on has just crashed. All the summer cruises that Carnival booked will now have to be canceled. They have a huge burn rate, and that means trouble. The only option moving forward for Carnival is either more offerings and crippling debt or bankruptcy restructuring. And at this point, I bet that they would love to angle for a bankruptcy restructuring. So I don't know how true this is, but this was the one thing that was worrying me. I think we talked about this yesterday on the live stream yesterday afternoon with the XRAM, and then you guys want to go check his channel out. He does some gaming content, Call of Duty, and Escape from Tarkov, which we were actually just playing before this, and God, I love that game. Anyhow, I'm going to pull this back over, but guys, be very wary if you are going to invest in the CCL, because that is potential. You know, right now we're seeing, today was a scalping opportunity. But we don't know what the long term is going to hold for them. If they can't have cruises until November, if they cancel all summer cruises, that could be big, big trouble for AMC unless the government just bails them out and keeps giving them PPP money to keep surviving. So that, it's up in the air. I don't know. I don't want to. I have not done the DD research on it. I do not plan on going that deep into it at the moment. However, in the next few days, I may spend some time over on the weekend. I don't plan on doing it today or tomorrow. Right now, I'm just focusing on AMC and all the stuff coming out about AMC. I don't even own a position in Carnival, but I do see the upside potential if we can get the cruises back on. But just keep that in mind that with them canceling the cruises up until November, that could mean big, big trouble for the cruise line and any other potential shareholders. So let me just try to find this article here. Sorry, I've got my whole other monitor on the right-hand side, so I've got to turn my head and look over that way. Man, I really wish I would have saved that. Oh, you know what? No wonder why. That's just in the stocks Reddit page. Boom. Not even in the AMC stocks, just in stocks. So, um, I thought I had joined this already. Maybe this isn't the right one. The one I'm looking for is like, yeah, R stocks. There's actually quite a few. The one that I'm looking for has like about 118,000 members in the group. I think this is it. Here it is. So the I guess there's two of them. The one that I'm currently looking in is just called all lowercase one word AMC stock. So I'll pull this over just so you guys can see here. Blah blah blah. Let's see if we can find out where it's at here. Because there's a lot of people right now talking about this. Unless they started to pull this stuff down, which, man, would not surprise me. Oh, gosh. Yeah, true. I want my tendies. Where is this at? So, they actually have some of this on here. But I feel like they may have pulled some stuff down. This could be it. No. And what I'm talking about is Joshua James on Twitter. If you guys want to reach out, give him a follow. He posted an image and some DD about how many shares are actually shorted on AMC, and so people are taking that information and they're using the outstanding shares and dividing that up and saying like there's no way possible. Matter of fact, there's a good video on it right here, but this video may need to be updated depending on what information actually comes out, because I think he's using a percentage rate of like 88% that we hold this position in AMC. 88% is our apes, and I don't think that number is really accurate. I would think it's more around the 50% number. So we'll pull this up here, and it's coming off of Joshua James' Twitter here, and you can see here very closely in this Citadel Securities on this date of March 1st, that they traded 1,097,000,000 shares of AMC. So yeah, that's freaking wild. But what people are saying, let me zoom back out of here and close that out here, is that they didn't actually short 1 billion shares. Oh gosh, I'm going to get banned for that. Alright guys, I'm going to just pull this off so I don't get in trouble. And I'm going to leave it alone. Remind me to never go on Reddit and then just scroll through a bunch of stuff. I'm going to have to blur that out later. Eventually, I would like to get this channel monetized, so... Not that anybody's going to go back this far, because it's going to take me forever for that to happen. I don't think anybody's going to go back and be like, oh, let me watch this video from like, I don't know, a year ago. And, oh, what is that on Reddit? Oh, yeah. So, not too worried about it. It is what it is. I think I need to fix the this screen that I get up on here, so that way when I'm showing my screen I can actually have a chat bar pulled up here. of YouTube chat or something. Unfortunately, it's just me chatting by myself for the time being. We'll grow eventually. So I think we're just going to trade here. I just wanted to recap where we were at. We'll just go back over my positions right now. Still holding on to this AMC call option here for a strike price of $40 on expiring June 18th. I think I'm negative in this thing about little less than $100 right now, so no big deal. I did close out of my two this Friday expiring Friday option calls for AMC $16. Lost massively on those as I did last week. Not massively because it was money I just was willing to lose if it be it, and unfortunately it was. So excuse me, only about like $160 for the between those two. So those two together is only $160 loss, which is fine because I'm up pretty nice on AMC. Currently still holding the same position AMC 300 long, average price of $8.68. Up on the day about $564, and that's what I want to see. I'm super stoked about this because when my total number here was like up 1,600, and then it went down like 600, then down 500, then down a couple hundred, and now we're starting to see this come back up. So to see us make this big push in the day, super excited, but not happy to see that right there. Was really hoping we were going to consolidate here for a little bit longer. Above that line, but that's fine. We're so close here. Don't think it's going to matter too much. AMTX, which we went over earlier here, I got my limit set. I've also got an alert set here at this price point here of above $27.42. It looks like I got two alerts here. How many alerts do I have over here for AMTX? I guess I do have two. Let me keep the 2742. Oh, this is an old one. Okay. Or was an old one. Hell, I don't know. Anyhow. Moving over. Well, just recapping again. Got a limit order set for 28, but if we pump up to this 27.42 up here, I got that alert set. As you can see, once we start reaching that all-time high, if I think we're going to keep pumping past that, I'll keep an eye on it and see what we're looking like. If it's already moved and we're kind of at the end of that move, I don't, there's no telling what this could do, but I don't want to leave anything on the table. If I think it's still going to move, I'll wait for it to pop over and maybe pull back and then take some profit. So we'll see when we get there. It could take another day or two. Could be until next week, or it could be a few weeks. You never know. It's only positions on that. Two positions. I'll just quickly go over here. So it's only two positions long at 26.70. So not too bad there. Harley Davidson. I'm a long-term holder in this position. I believe in the company. I've been holding this company for a very long time. I've got a limit here to make some money. As you can see, I have an average price of about $40.26. I'm up $81 on the day, but currently down overall in the position about $229. However, of the years that I have been holding this position, I've probably almost made that back in dividends. However, they did lower the dividend quite a bit. I can't even get up this far, and I don't want to redo my chart, but if I have to, yeah, I don't really want to redo it. Could just change the number here to see. But I've got the limit set here at $42. I think it's a couple percentage. I think it's like above 5%. So once we reach that 42, I've got a limit order set here to just sell my position in Harley Davidson, because what I would like to do is average down in my position a little bit more. So I'd like to take some profits and then wait for it to drop and then buy back in. And that's at least my plan with Harley Davidson. That's what you'll typically see. We did reach over that a few times, and I held through both times. And then we had a big drop off, and now we're kind of pulling back again, so, and consolidating here. So, well, if we get back up there, and seeing that this has been the play a few times, I think I'll take some profits up here, wait for a pullback at whatever range it may be, buy in again, and then stay there. But Harley Davidson is a favorite of mine. Just as a company, I really like them, and I'm really a big supporter of what they do. So, Rocket Man. Rocket not looking too good. Never looking too good. We went over Rocket here for quite some time earlier on the stream, and you guys saw what was going on there. So we're 2 positions long. Average price 29.65. Got my limit order set up here for $30. So probably a 5% margin there for some profit. Whenever it hits there, it hits there. Not really a rush for it. And we did talk about the $1.11 dividend that was paid out for bag holders here, as I'll say, to the Rocket. So if you guys didn't notice, and you've been holding Rocket since before whatever that date was, I can't remember the day. I think it was March 8th or March 9th. The ex-dividend date was March 8th. So if you were bag holders on Rocket from before March 8th, you probably got a little unexpected surprise in your account of $1.11 per share that you held. So one reason to hold on to the company, if they keep putting out that kind of dividend, then hell, I'll just start buying some more down here, average down, and add to my position, which may be the case after seeing that dividend. I'm going to do some research and see if that was a one-time deal. But if they're going to keep that dividend up, I will definitely buy in, because that's just under 15% dividend. That was $1.11 per share per quarter. Could have just been a one-time deal, but we don't know. Moving on to Sinsonics, not Sims Sonics. I watched a video of General Sam earlier today, and he did this Sims video where he made a simp house. I don't even know if you can say simp on YouTube anymore. Freaking world's gotten so crazy. I think on Twitch it's banned. You can't even say simp. What kind of BS is that? So anyhow, he made a simp house, and his character was just a dude with like 4 or 5 chicks. And you just have to watch the video from General Sam. Go check it out. Anyhow, currently I am positioned long 87 at an average share price of $3.75. Holding this one for a very long-term play. I don't believe there's any dividend here with Sens. It's a biomedical company or medical company. They have a CGM, which is a continuous glucose monitoring system. I think the one that they have on the market now is either a 30 or a 60 or a 90. I don't know. The way that they do it is like in those increments, 90, 180, and 365. So I think they currently have a 90 up right now. Don't know if it's in market in the US, but I think it is elsewhere. Got a patent approved for the 180 day, so they should be getting that rolling out to market. And then still working on a 365 day CGM system, which is basically a glucose monitoring system for the diabetics out there. They just wear it on their arm. They don't have to change it. Don't have to prick their finger every day. I think their nearest competitor, they had to change it like once every 3 days or something, once every week. So the fact that they have them and working on something you can have to change out once a year, I think this company is going to explode. No dividend there at all any point in time currently. So, and going over to the last position in my portfolio on this Thinkorswim platform here, you can see that I am positioned long 108 shares at an average price of $28.98, up on the day about $9.72, and down about up about $117.95 in total net profit on this position here. Since if you guys didn't see, up about $12, down 78 in total. So not too bad. Not a lot into this position, just 87 shares here. On the other hand here, about 108 shares in AT&T, and you guys all know why I'm in AT&T. It's because of that good old 7.25 dividend. We'll take a look right here just to show you guys. Right down here, 7.23% dividend yield for the year. To be paid out annually, $2.08. Quarterly, I don't know why they didn't show. Quarterly, 52 cents. So, $2.08 on the year over here at AT&T. That's the big reason. Huge dividend there. I mean, not like the Rocket one, of course, but pretty damn good if I say so. Again, here we are. Let's go look at the 3-year chart just so you guys can see kind of what I'm thinking here. And this is going all the way back to 2019. $39.70 at a high, kind of trading somewhere around here at this $36 mark. So if we just take a price point here, if I can get a stupid thing to click. Even somewhere in there, I mean, that's 21%. In between there and there, that's 30%. So 30% and a 7.23% dividend is why. So just want to show you guys my portfolio, what I have in the trading account right now. And before we leave off, because this is mainly an AMC and GME meme stock channel, although I don't talk about BlackBerry, I don't talk about Express, I don't talk about a few of the other ones. I'm mainly just tied down in AMC as far as my meme stocks goes, because traditionally I've just been a dividend investor. And then I switched over to the meme stock when I started to do the research on this thing and see what the potential was. And now I'm a believer. I wouldn't leave her if I tried. You guys know what it is. If you don't know, maybe you know Shrek. Anyhow, all right, I'll leave you guys off with this. Sitting at about 1098. I want to thank you to all of my 10 viewers that I have so far, and even if you just clicked on and clicked off really quick, so even if you made it this far, oh my god, I thank you so much, because I don't think I had anybody watch this far. If you guys want to see, I always forget, left side, I've got my Facebook, Twitter, and of course you guys know the YouTube already because you're watching it here. So you guys want to check me out on there. I'll be setting up some other accounts. Feel free to give me a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I don't really care about that shit. So I do this just to build a community and for entertainment, and hopefully you guys like it, and I'm learning something. So I'm learning how to do this cool transition stuff. Learning how to make some good photos. Let me see if I can pull this one up if you guys like this. I'll pull it up over here on my other one here. Pictures here. Might make this into a thumbnail one day. Don't know just yet. Is it in downloads? Yeah, here we go. Not quite finished with it, but I thought it was kind of funny. We want to have some words here saying like, "Oh, take me to the moon, Daddy." So, you know, just messing around. Oh, the chimp without the glasses, he's the butler. So just so you guys know. He was a panic selling butler here. So us other apes who are diamond handing it, we're gonna ride to the moon, and we might bring some other guys along as our butlers. Anyhow, I want to thank you guys for watching this far. If you made it this far, I doubt you have. But just want to say adios and peace out. Thank you.